Welcome to the red carpet in our beautiful location at the Vienna Hofburg Palace. My name is Franziska Graf, here from the Global Peter Drucker Forum, and I'm joined by Rita McGrath, who is a professor of strategy at the Columbia Business School. Hello.
Hello, what a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It is sunny in Vienna. I am stunned.
Yeah, you have very good luck, especially for November, where it's usually just foggy. So Rita, you're not just here to look at the beautiful weather and the palace, but of course to share your amazing thoughts. You just are in the process of publishing a new book, which will come out next year, New Management. You are on a panel today. What can you maybe share with us from the book and also from your panel, because I'm sure those two intersect in some ways.
Yeah, well, the book is really about, as we're navigating this massive change from a mass production economy to a digital economy, the way that we think about and manage organizations is going to have to change. And so the panel today was really about the role of purpose. And I would connect the subject of purpose in organizations to human motivation. So what do we know motivates people? We know people are motivated when they feel a sense of agency so they can take action, when they feel a sense of mastery so that they're growing and developing, and that they're connected to some larger purpose. And so that was really the focus of the panel today.
It's really wonderful. And to anyone who wants to dive deeper, the book next year is coming out.
It is.
Yes. Wonderful. So you teach executives at the Columbia Business School. What are the three most important skills and leadership qualities you hope to equip your students with?
Oh, for the executives, I think the biggest challenge is navigating uncertainty. And how do we think about uncertainty? And a lot of times they turn up sort of at the beginning of my week with them, and they don't even know where to start. You know, it's this giant hairball of stuff. And so what we try to get them to think about is when you're in a really uncertain situation, the best you can do is learn your way out of it. So how do you break the complex learning challenges into smaller, manageable bites, and then step by step unpack it using different learning techniques? So how do you learn under uncertainty would be one. Second one is how do you really get past conventional thinking about how you compete and where you compete. And one of the things I try to get people to realize is industry is no longer as useful a characterization of who your competitive set is as it once was. And instead, I like to think about talking about arenas, where an arena represents a pot of addressable resources, some solutions you might provide, but there are others in there providing similar solutions. So how do you sort of broaden the aperture? And then the third thing I try to get them to think about is how do I make the time get away from the day-to-day, lift my nose out of my emails, and actually really take a step back and looking at what's going on around me. So when I look at firms that have been, for example, taken surprise by a negative inflection point, it's not that they didn't see it, it's that they didn't make the time to really think through the implications for their own organizations.
It's so interesting because it almost sounds like, you need both this like micro vision of next steps, but then also to zoom out once again and look at the big vision and like this almost balancing of opposites. Yeah, fascinating, and so much information that you gave us in such a short time. So another interesting thing, we just talked previously that you've been to the forum probably 10 times or more.
Yeah, it could be. It absolutely could be.
Why do you keep coming back?
Oh, well, my friends, of course. A lot of the thinkers and the participants here are people that I've known and respect for a long time. Richard does a wonderful job convening people. So it's to share perspectives, to get a sense of what other people are thinking about. And then, so here's a little known fact. When I was doing my doctoral program, I had this vicious professor in organizational diagnosis. And his thesis was that doctoral students needed to really be immersed in the work of at least one major scholar. And so he asked us to read a book a week that was authored by this scholar. Now that limited the number of scholars you could look at because, there are not that many that wrote enough books to cover a whole semester. So I picked Peter Drucker. And so he was quite a formative influence there in my doctoral years. And, up until my present work, a lot of the things he looked at back then are becoming true and even more relevant today.
Being influenced by Peter Drucker and now influencing people around Peter Drucker sounds like a really good round circle to me. Thank you so much for talking to me, Rita. It's been such a pleasure, and I really hope that you enjoy this time and many more times at the forum.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.